He wasn't molded by the military, he bent it to his will. Richard Marcinko, the man they called the Rogue Warrior, wasn't just a Navy SEAL. He was a walking rebellion against the very system he served. Brash, brutal, unfiltered, and utterly relentless, he shattered rules the same way he shattered enemy defenses. And when America needed an answer to the rising threat of global terrorism, the Pentagon didn't reach for a diplomat or a desk jockey. They called in Marcinko. What they got wasn't a soldier. What they got was a weapon with a pulse. Born in 1940 in Lansford, Pennsylvania, Marcinko grew up dirt poor, the kind of poverty that forged hunger, not just for food, but for power, survival, and dominance. After getting rejected by the Marines, he enlisted in the Navy and never looked back. He clawed his way into UDT, underwater demolition teams, before eventually becoming one of the early members of the Navy SEALs. And when he went to Vietnam, he didn't just fight, he hunted. Twice awarded the Silver Star and 4 times the Bronze Star with Combat V, Marcinko was the kind of leader who walked into danger and dared it to kill him. His unit once destroyed an entire Viet Cong village, and the enemy put a bounty on his head. It only made him smile harder. But the real legend of Richard Marcinko began after Vietnam, when a growing wave of terrorism, the kind that made governments flinch, forced the Pentagon to rethink warfare. After the catastrophic failure of Operation Eagle Claw, the attempted rescue of U.S. hostages in Iran, America realized it lacked a rapid response counterterrorism unit. The military brass wanted a ghost team, elite, autonomous, and off the books. They needed someone fearless, ruthless, and willing to break every rule to protect the country. They turned to Commander Richard Marcinko. In 1980, Marcinko was ordered to create SEAL Team 6, a name meant to trick the Soviets into thinking there were 5 other SEAL teams when only 2 existed. That was Marcinko's genius. Psychological warfare before the first shot was fired. But what he built wasn't just another special operations unit. SEAL Team 6 was a shadow army. These men weren't just warriors, they were assassins in American flags, trained for direct action, hostage rescue, black ops, and anything else that required disappearing bodies and plausible deniability. He handpicked every operator himself. No bureaucratic approval, no traditional chain of command. He looked for killers, rebels, bruisers, and thinkers who could move like phantoms and kill like monsters. They trained harder, longer, and dirtier than anyone else. They breached rooms in pitch darkness, fired live rounds during drills, and practiced real-world hostage rescues in federal buildings without warning, just to prove they could. He had them infiltrate nuclear submarines, sneak onto secure military bases, and once even penetrated Air Force One, leaving a note behind just to show the Pentagon how wide open they really were. His leadership style? Total war. He encouraged aggression, demanded fearlessness, and his motto was brutal. When in doubt, kill. He drank with his men, fought beside them, pushed them to the brink of insanity, and turned them into lethal machines. Under his command, SEAL Team 6 became the most dangerous counterterrorism unit in the world. They were trained to kill terrorists before the world even knew who the targets were. But success breeds enemies. Marcinko didn't just make waves, he drenched the Pentagon. He publicly called out incompetence in command. He taunted senior officers. He cursed like a biker and refused to wear polished shoes. He loved making enemies in high places. He was the rare soldier who feared no general and answered to no one. That terrified the brass. So when his next assignment came, Red Cell, a unit designed to test military security by launching mock terrorist attacks on American bases, he took it even further. Marcinko and his men infiltrated secure naval facilities, planted fake bombs in aircraft carriers, broke into nuclear arsenals, and humiliated base commanders nationwide. Instead of being celebrated, the Navy saw Marcinko as a threat to its image, and when he refused to play political games, they decided to get rid of him. They accused him of misappropriating funds and conspiracy, and in a trial that smelled like revenge more than justice, he was sentenced to 21 months in federal prison. But prison didn't silence him. It made him louder. While locked up, he wrote, Rogue Warrior, an explosive memoir that became a bestseller. The book pulled the curtain back on Black Ops, Pentagon stupidity, and what it really takes to fight evil in the modern world. It was part confession, part call to arms, and all Marcinko. Readers were hooked, critics were shocked, the military was pissed. But Marcinko didn't care. He followed it with novels, TV appearances, radio shows, and even tactical training courses. He became a legend not just to soldiers but to civilians who saw in him the ultimate warrior, the man who did what others wouldn't dare. Until his death in 2021, Marcinko remained unapologetic. He trained law enforcement, gave speeches, taught leadership, and never once backed down from the image he had built, the rogue warrior. Some called him a maverick, others called him a criminal, but all who knew his story agreed he was a lion in a world of sheep. He didn't build SEAL Team 6 to follow rules, he built it to win wars before they started. Subscribe for more untold stories of warriors, rebels, and real-world legends. Share this with someone who thinks heroes always play by the book, because Marcinko threw the book into the fire.